The Bugatti Tourbillon is that sort of engineering marvel and hypercar from the next generation to usher in a new era for the brand. With an all-new 8.3 naturally aspirated V16 developed by Cosworth and augmented with electric motors, the aggregate hybrid power reaches a somewhat unbelievable stratospheric 1,800 horsepower. Sleek, its design echoes Bugatti's relentless pursuit of speed, performance, and luxury. Capable of hitting 445 kilometers an hour with the speed key engaged, it manages to hit 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 2 seconds and finds itself sitting directly against its predecessor, the Bugatti Chiron, but pushes even harder. Now, let's get going with what could be called a detailed review in a jocular manner, from design to performance, price, and comparisons with the Chiron. Imagine you're sipping on your third espresso of the morning, feeling the caffeine vigor akin to that of a superhero. Now times that by 1,800. That's what it's like when sitting behind the wheel of a Bugatti Tourbillon. A car so powerful, it's practically a caffeine rush on wheels. Starting with the design, if aliens had to choose between the Tourbillon and their UFO, they might take a second to reconsider. Bugatti, under the visionary guidance of Mate Rimac, has really designed this car to not only be fast, but outrageously good-looking. Imagine a car where every curve sculpted to cheat the wind while turning heads, an automotive version of a runaway model that doubles as a jet. The Tourbillon's sleek aerodynamic profile is designed to maximize performance without sacrificing an ounce of its beauty. It's also much wider than most supercars, so when you park it, mind you stay clear of tight spaces. You don't want to scratch your 7-figure paint job, do you? Speaking of power, how does the Bugatti Tourbillon measure against its sibling, the legendary Bugatti Chiron? After all, what's a family reunion without a little competition? Let's get one thing straight. The Bugatti Chiron, when it first saw the light of day back in 2016, had already rewritten the definition of a hypercar. It came out of the box with 1,500 horsepower and for quite some time enjoyed the status of the most insane automotive contraption. But the Tourbillon looks over at the Chiron and says, "Hold my spark plugs." Where the quad-turbocharged W16 inside the Chiron's impressive in its own right, the Tourbillon one-ups it with naturally aspirated V16. Now, you might say to yourself, why naturally aspirated? The answer would appear to be that Bugatti wanted to give the drivers pure, undiluted sound of an engine that roars like a lion when it's getting up from a nap. And with an additional hybrid arrangement, complete with electric motors, 2 on the front and 1 on the rear, it's not about the sound, but the acceleration that pins you to your seat quicker than it takes to say speed key. The Chiron runs at 261 miles an hour, but that's nothing to boast about next to the Tourbillon's limited speed of 236 miles an hour, which can go 276 miles an hour with, you guessed it again, the speed key. Just imagine giving some sort of spy movie secret weapon that only unlocks all the fury of the car with a special key. Interesting as it is to compare these two automotive titans, the real deal was going to be speed. So buckle up as we dive into just how fast this beast can go and why it's setting a new benchmark for hypercars everywhere. The performance capability of the Bugatti Tourbillon is like Usain Bolt on rocket skates. From 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, that is, up to 62 miles an hour, the car hurtles forward in a mere 2 seconds, a feat that'll make gravity wonder if it's still doing its job. Hitting 124 miles an hour in under 5 seconds, and you hardly have time to wave goodbye to the onlookers. You could even achieve 0 to 250 miles an hour in less than 25 seconds, probably faster than how long it takes most of us to get out of bed. How about electric mode driving? The Tourbillon can run for over 60 kilometers on electric power alone, making it the eco-friendly option for those rare moments when you want to save the environment or sneaking up on other cars at a stoplight. But raw speed isn't the only trip up the Tourbillon's sleeve. This is not only a car designed to break records on the racetrack, but one that also carries some of the most advanced pieces of technology Bugatti's ever fitted on a car. Of course, the Tourbillon just isn't about raw power. It's packed to the brim with uber-futuristic features that would make Q from James Bond grin with envy. The electric motors in this 800-volt architecture get over 600 kilowatts of peak output. Then there's the cooling system that can handle the next level of intense heat characteristic of such a performance profile. Handling delivers torque vectoring and advanced electronic limited slip differential. As sharp as a samurai's sword, it's perfect for weaving in and out of traffic or tearing up the racetrack. Inside the Tourbillon is a cockpit of a blend of top-flight tech and real opulence. Leather, carbon fiber, and more technology than on most spaceships. Ditch thoughts of regular transmissions. This longitudinally mounted 8-speed dual-clutch transmission's tuned for seamless shifts, even when you're just ringing out the car. And for those of us who hate parallel parking, and by that I mean all of us, there are enough sensors and cameras to ensure you don't scrape your wheels on the curb. Of course, such a raft of cutting-edge technology and blistering performance doesn't come cheap. But then again, Bugatti's never been much about cutting corners when it comes to pricing or prestige. So what does owning a Bugatti Tourbillon set you back? Well, if you have to ask, you probably can't afford it. Early rumors have the price at around $4.6 million or more, a price that'll buy you several mansions, a private jet, or, just a Bugatti. But let's be real here. You're buying more than just a car. You're buying bragging rights and the ability to say, I own a vehicle that can outspeed most airplanes during takeoff. You're buying a chance to make every stoplight feel like a launch pad and every highway an Autobahn. But before you reach for your wallet, or rather your financial advisor, there's a couple things to keep in mind. With a car this extreme, there's probably going to be a couple quirks. Of course, there are a couple trade-offs. The Bugatti Tourbillon is about as exclusive as it gets, meaning laying eyes on one of the wow is about as common as seeing a unicorn in your own backyard. Maintenance costs are going to be astronomical, with oil changes alone making your wallet cry. With an aggregate power output of 1,800 horsepower, fuel efficiency is not the strong suit, although the hybrid powertrain does make it slightly less of a gas guzzler than Bugatti models of older generations. But once more, if you've got the kind of cash to indulge in a tourbillon, the last thing on your mind is fuel costs, since it would be like counting calories in a slice of cake if you own the bakery. Additionally, there are some trade-offs for all these perks, but one thing's for sure, the Bugatti Tourbillon is not just a car, it's a statement. Let's boil it all down and find out what really makes this hypercar one for the ages. The Bugatti Tourbillon is not a car but an art form, an engineering marvel, and a statement to the world that Bugatti simply refuses to be outdone. Whether it's tearing up highway asphalt in pieces or sipping champagne while staring in your private garage, the Tourbillon will leave you breathless and probably broke, but most definitely in style. Whether you upgrade from a Chiron or dive straight into the deep end of Bugatti's latest creation, at the end of the day, the Tourbillon will give you a driving experience that's unforgettable, unparalleled, and just a little bit crazy. But again, isn't that what Bugatti's all about? We're committed to releasing 3 videos a week. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more luxury videos.